Don't tell me.
This just in, lady about to tell us about a book. More on this, Nurse Huckleberry's publicist. Burn the cat. Very nice, Bert. Jessica Alba.
Never read a book. All right.
Is it time?
It's time.
Welcome, Max Oblivion. Thank you for the follow.
Let's do this real quick. So, you guys voted last week. And, oh, here, let me show you the book real quick before I sit down. This is the book. Death by Chocolate Lab. By Bethany Blake. Definitely not a pen name. Not a pen name, guys. So, you know, this is our book club space. Bert's here too, don't mind him. So you're wondering, what's that book all about? It's a murder mystery novel about pet sitter Daphne Templeton, who lives with her sister, who's a veterinarian, in the town of Sylvan Creek. And her sister is setting up a dog agility challenge event with her ex-boyfriend, Steve, at their farmhouse location, when all of a sudden, the day of the event, Steve is found dead in the dog agility tunnel. Yeah, right? And so then, of course, it's a whodunit, and because he and Piper used to date, he and the sister used to date, and they had some bad blood, the sister is a primary suspect. So dog sitter Daphne needs to clear her sister's name. Or actually, she doesn't need to fucking clear her sister's name. She just keeps putting herself in the middle of an investigation, especially considering she was the one who found the dead body. Maybe a dumb idea. Anyways, new detective moves to town. Jonathan Blake, and ooh boy, is he a hottie. Has he caught the eye of Daphne? So different from her current surfer West Coast boy, Dylan, who sings at the local brewery? The local pub? I don't know. Daphne also has an obsession with cheese and has an assortment of dogs that follow her around everywhere while she offers dog sitting services. This book is supposed to introduce the series, and it's basically mostly just identifying characters. And they kill off 2 people in the book, and a third person runs away. So I don't know how many more characters they're going to introduce to this town to kill off later. But you know, it seems like a lot. I don't know how many are in this series. Anyways, there's some quality writing in here, including when Daphne is really watching the detective work, and she's really taking it into account how good of a detective he is. Once inside, he immediately began to direct the scene. I want every piece of evidence bagged, he told the uniformed officers. Photos from every angle. He pointed to the tunnel. That's a blood stain. Don't miss any of those, because the fabric is red. I was preoccupied with observing Detective Black and trying to pretend that Piper wasn't glaring at me. Yeah. She's like, I don't know why this writer thinks that telling somebody to take picture, to basically just tell him do your job, is a very impressive detective work, but apparently it was really impressive. Real impressive detective work. Yeah, the writing, not particularly great. Also, I figured out who the killer was like 30 seconds in, or, you know, like in the beginning, in the very beginning, because it's always the same thing. they introduce a whole slew of characters at the beginning of the book, and there's like one character that they just kind of barely introduce, and then like it comes up every now and again, but isn't a primary suspect. It's always that guy. It was the groundskeeper, Mr. Peachy. What kind of a name is that? Mr. Peachy. Also, they really anthropomorphize the dogs, including making a dog look like it's being judgmental of its owner consistently, including doubting her responses. I don't know. It's not great. Would not read again. Anyways, but more book club next week.
Is that right?
Yes.
So what is the next pair of books or triple of books that we're going to be voting on? What is this?
Hold on, let me... it's gonna be a romance novel for the next one.
It's Romance Week.
We have... Winter Song, Wild and Hexy, and In Bed with King Warrior. With the Viking Warrior.
This is what we're voting on?
This is what we're voting on. We're gonna vote... Are any of them gay? No, but I do have a gay book. Did you get this in Goodwill? Yes.
I mean...
Except this one.
Yeah.
Not that one. These two were Goodwill.
When your mustache gets glued to the actress in the scene. What's up, J Flo? How you doing tonight?
Well, Hexy's too good to ignore. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Ed. Poll at the top of chat for new book club book. Hexy is definitely a gay thing. The back of the book, Wild and Hexy, after gaining 20 pounds. Former Dairy Queen Annie Winston dreads going back to Big Knob, Indiana. Sounds pretty gay.
I'm sorry, what?
After gaining 20 pounds, former Dairy Queen Annie Winston dreads going back to Big Knob, Indiana, but Annie hasn't changed half as much as her hometown has ever since Dorcas and Ambrose Lowell moved in, former matchmakers for wizards and witches. They're playing their unconventional trade for humans, and they have the perfect match for Annie.
Is there really a Big Knob, Indiana? There's a Floyd's Knob. Okay, this is a made-up town.
It's a made-up town.
Dairy Queen, I'd milk her.
Meanwhile, the Viking warrior injured in battle, Magnus awakens with no memories of who he is. Knowing he's in danger, he flees, only to encounter a Saxon maiden in peril. Ooh, she's invited her enemy into her bed. And then,
the enemy?
Winter Song. Anna Nesmith's life was relatively happy.